Looking for stories that are fresh and new? Dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, cyberpunk, alternate history, and more. They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology from 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
Looking for something new in dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, alternative history? They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology. Get the 10-volume box set with 159 stories and full-color illustrations, plus 34 articles with writings and art tips. Get the UPRN discount, $125 for the entire box set. That's a $60 savings for that beautiful box set. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Go to uprntalkradio.com, click on the link, and place your order.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday edition of Into the Night. Hey, Patrick Kelly, Bromeister. Hey, thanks, pal. Thanks for stopping in real quick. I want to thank everybody who stopped in and watched the show tonight. It's going to be a pretty interesting one. It was crazy because the other day I was eating a cookie. Now I don't know if I can say the name of a cookie because they're not sponsoring my show or sponsoring any. Hey, Kaysen, good to see you, my friend. But I was eating a cookie. And before I get into the story, I have to give out a couple shout outs for some people. I also want to tell you that my show is on UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. I think I got that right. And a couple shout outs. My friend Sean Hazlitt, me and him co-host the show with Joe Montaldo. The news one on Friday night. Hey, Cindy Mitch. L. Ron Hubbard is a name synonymous with cooked up fiction. All right, thank you, sir. So me and my friend Sean Hazlitt, he is my co-host on the show Friday night with Joe Montaldo, and I forgot the name of the show. News on the Flip Side, that's it. We come on at 10 o'clock Eastern, and but come to find out that he has a show right after me tonight, and I'm excited about it. His show is called Through a Glass Darkly with Sean Hazlitt, and I'm like really looking forward to hearing what he has to say. The guy is like really smart, good dude, real good dude. And I'm welcoming him right now to the UPRN Talk Radio family. So after my show tonight, stick around and listen to his show. I think it's going to be very interesting. Hello, Miss Cindy Mitch. Good to see you. So another one I wanted to is my friend Virginia. She has a YouTube station. It's called Virginia's Seen Through the Veil. It's a YouTube channel, so check her out. And my friend Michael Anthony, America in Crisis, check that out too. That's my friend Michael, and his deal is America in Crisis. He has some good guests on, and he has some good podcasts. But so back to my story. Okay, check this out. So the other day I'm eating a cookie, and I can just say it's stuffed with vanilla ice cream, and it's black. Okay. And so I was looking at the cookie itself. And there was a picture of a cross on top, on in the cookie. The cookies is the cookie crumbs or the cookie black. It's in the black part of the cookie, and there was a cross there, and it was kind of like interesting because I'm thinking I've seen this lots and lots of time, ate lots and lots of those cookies, and it never dawned on me until I really got into, you know, you UPR and talk radio and all the conspiracies, everything. And so I decided to do a little bit more studying on this thing. Okay. Um, I did take my notes, and I will be reading off my notes tonight. Um, but it's going to be an interesting show. Okay. The cross that you see on this cookie is called the Cross of Lorrain. Okay. It's the Cross of Lorrain. And if you really look at the cookie, okay, there's also, um, I want to say pate, the cross of pate. And what I mean by that is um, the Knights Templars wore this on their clothing, okay, the cross of pate. And they also got permission to use the cross of Lorraine. So to describe this cross, okay, it's lying down. It got a long one and it got a short one, like that. And it does come from France, and I can give you a little hint, maybe. Hey, Gary, good to see you, buddy. Good evening, Sean. I haven't watched in a few weeks. Been busy. Well, at least you're here tonight, and that's all that matters, buddy. It's good to see you back into the show. But this cross, it has a small line and it got a longer line. So I can give you a little hint about the cross. Joan of Arc carried that cross whenever she went out fighting. Okay. The cross does come from Eastern France. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to be reading off my notes. I'm not a good note reader taker, so try to be the best that I can. But the Lorraine is, like, I do believe, is the eastern part of France. Okay. And so Joan of Arc carried it on her banner. The cross has become a symbol of national independence as well as a sign of rallying in both victory and defeat. And so I tried to, do a little bit more, studying on Joan of Arc. Really, I don't know. You know how it can get when you start looking things up. You go from here to here to here, and it's like, oh my God, it's just driving me crazy. And my note taking, like I said, I don't do shorthand well, so I really can't read my notes. The only way I do it is reading, writing down what I can. But the Lorraine cross is a double cross, symbolizes of the Dukes of Anjou, who became the Duke of Lorraine in the year 1431. Okay. Now, at the time, okay, and I'm sure people have heard of the Knights Templars. Okay. My friend Michelle, who's on this channel, is very, very, very educated in the Knights Templars, and they're a pretty interesting, group of people. Off the top of my head, I know that they were like protectors. They were actually the first bank, you know, um, and they went out on a lot of crusades. And I guess you know what a crusade is. They do some fighting and stuff like that, So they got the permission from the patriarchs of Jerusalem. They got granted the use of the cross during the Crusades. Isn't that pretty neat? Now, so far, all this came from an imprint on a cookie, you know? It really, really intrigued me. It really did. So I'm thinking, okay, what about this cookie? Who invented it? I can tell you the name, I do believe. I think everybody kind of knows what I'm talking about. But I did a little bit of research of the people who founded this company in order to make the cookie, and come to find out that, and this is like back in 1890 something, that they were actually Freemasons. And you know for a fact that the Freemasons are not in cahoots, but they're part of the Knights Templar. So I'm sitting back, and I'm reading, I'm digesting all this information, and I'm thinking, who gave, who came up with the idea of putting the cross of Lorraine on a cookie? And there's some other things about this cookie too that I'll tell you in the future, and coming up pretty soon. Um, so I think that's really, really interesting that this cookie, this company who's part of the cookie, were Freemasons. And I guess they keeping the tradition going, right? Um, of the Freemasons. A lot of people out there, even me sometimes, go out and try to find different symbols in cakes and candies and cookies. Hey, River, good evening. Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. But there's a lot of people that go out and they try to find signs. They try to find different writings of some sort into everyday use of stuff. Um, Cookies, it could be bread, it could whatever. But when something pops up, it's like, especially me, I have to start looking deeper into the meaning of what I have seen. And it just takes me down tons of rabbit holes. It really does. A ton of rabbit holes. Just like I was, looking up the Cross of Lorraine. My God, I mean, I could write a whole book on it. But I will tell you, I do have ADHD, okay? And I can only sit for a certain amount of time. I can't stay and be on the computer 4 hours a day trying to figure out what I'm trying to write or what I'm looking up or doing some research on. But this like really, really caught my eye. And so the patriarchal cross, which is the Cross of Lorraine, is a variant form of the Christian cross. Okay. It's a religious symbol of Christianity and is also called the Cross of Lorraine. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong now. There was the Christian cross that just had the one and over like that. But the patriarchal cross is they put that little line above the long cross. You know, that's. I would have never known that. And they gave. What's really cool is that they gave the Knights Templars permission to take that into battles. I do believe, from what I've written down here, the patriarchs were from Jerusalem. Who's from Jerusalem? I hope I'm not boring everybody about this, but I think it's kind of an interesting situation. Now, what's really interesting is if you look at the French army, okay, when you look at the French army, the Cross of Lorrain is worn by every fighting Frenchman since 1940. I do believe the Cross of Lorraine is on some is a patch on their uniforms. So this cross must be meaning something really big for people, especially over in France. Just like the Christians and the Catholics, they go by the cross. You know, it was just an interesting thing to look up. Gee, I don't know. It's just like really totally mind-boggling. If there's anybody out here in the chat room that would like to ask a question about anything, feel free to ask. You know, again, I want to. My brother's in the Patrick Kelly. My brother, he's in the chat room. Kason Lee, haven't seen him in a while. Good to see you, my friend. Another. Okay, Kason says, I'm actually confused about the cross. Because in pagan England, there were symbols of crosses, I think. Can anybody help Kason up? You know, Kason, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I really don't know about the symbols of crosses that were over in pagan England. Okay. All I know is that this Cross of Lorraine is from France, eastern part of France, you know. And all they did was draw a little line above the big line. Now, I might be talking in circles, and I usually am sometimes, but I don't have an answer for you, buddy. I'd have to do research on that and find the other symbols of crosses. But I guess, Kason, to put it down the way I would feel about it, and the way I would look at it, and it is part of what I believe in, is that if this cross gave you the strength to go into war and fight, you know, then so be it. Bring it, take it. Just like in the United States, we have the American flag. And people die for that flag. And so I'm sure people are dying for, the Cross of Lorraine, especially the Frenchmen. Flags mean a lot. They mean a lot to people. I know personally, the American flag is the best thing ever. Gary says, Sean, is your brother in the Berg also? Yes, he is. He's in the Berg. Mm-hmm. So that's what I think, Kason. Whatever makes you happy, makes you strong, makes you patriotic, then go for it. If it helps you get through different skirmishes, or if it helps you get through things that are going on in your mind right now that are having a hard time and you really don't have nothing to grasp on, grasp onto the flag. I know you're from Sri Lanka, so maybe, if you really look at your flag and check, and really dive into it, I'm sure it really gives you something interesting, maybe something to hold on. My friend River says, very interesting. My son, when he was 2 and 3, drew the Cross of Lorraine on the walls with crayon and water. He did this 3 separate times, and no, he has no idea why or what it's meant. We even took pictures. Oh, wow. Thank you, River, for sharing that. That's pretty interesting. I could go metaphysically with that, River. Is it possible that, you know, not possessed, but, something like, like a spirit of some sort? Is he French, River? That's the question. Is he French? Or is he of, could be, if you research his line, probably take it back to the Knights Templar. Who knows? Who knows? But thank you for sharing that. That's pretty interesting. So, what is everybody's thoughts on the cross of Lorrain so far? What is everybody's thoughts? Please feel free to share. So we can talk about it. Gary says, I'll be there June 1st through the 14th. I'd love to meet up with both when I'm up there. I'll be staying off of Route 88. Gary, heck yeah, man, come on up. You're coming up June 1st through the 14th. I tell you what, we'll set a date and we'll meet. We'll meet for coffee and we'll go to Eaton Park or something like that. Then go, and talk. Yes, I would love to meet you, Brian. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. But back to Rivers. Is it possible that he could have, her son could have been like, you know, some spirit from France or Knights Templar, just help that guy draw the cross of Lorrain, her son? River comes back and says, no and yes. French native Indian from his father, Noah, has no history, never been to France, but his father has some French. Huh. That is interesting, Rick. That is pretty interesting. But that'd be something to really look into or check that out. Because with a 2 or 3-year-old boy drawing the cross of Lorraine on the walls with Keller, did he do it in red? That would be crazy. Was it red? Was it a red crayon, River? That would be cool if it was. Yeah. But now the Red Cross of, hey, there's my friend Virginia seeing through the veil. Yes, there she is. I gave you a shout out today on your show. Do you remember, River, if it was red? I'm doing great, girl. Couldn't be better. How about you? The Red Cross, it's red, and the Red Cross signifies the love of God to his creations, and the red Keller symbolizes the blood of Jesus shared for us for redemption. Brown crayon and rising blue water. That's interesting. Now I look at that colors that you're saying, and what comes to my mind right away, River, is it possible that the brown crayon could have been considered like the color of the ship on the blue water? Isn't that, it's just a thought that it's what I processed when you wrote those colors, because the ship was brown back then, and the blue water with them sailing could have been, you can really, really take that and run with it. That would be interesting. Kaysen says, by the way, do you think Templars got their hands on the Ark of the Covenant? Oh, no, that's a segue question. You know what? To be honest with you, we're going to have to find out, because I don't know if you all watched the Oak Island. It's on Tuesday nights from 9 to 10. I've been watching it for the last 11 years, and they're supposed to be the Ark of the Covenant buried on Oak Island. Oh, that's what they claim. You know what, Kaysen? I don't believe they did. I don't believe they did. Now, I could probably ask my friend Michelle, and she would have more, more facts on that. In fact, I tell you what, I'm going to ask her if she could come on my show next Sunday and we can talk a little bit about the Knights Templars because my gosh, she's very, very, very well educated in that. But I don't know. But like I said, I was talking to River. That would be crazy if that was a ship in the rising blue water, you know. But life is good, you know. In 5 minutes, it'll be, hey, Tony Sabellos, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you, my brother. Thank you for popping in. In about 5 minutes, we're gonna do my commercials at the bottom at the 8:30 mark, and then we'll come back and do part two of the show. But yeah, so life is good, you know. Now I'm going to keep looking at this cookie. For people who just came in, there's a cookie out there that has like a cookie with white stuff stuck in the middle of it. Now I can't tell you the name of the cookie, nor can I tell you the name of the company that has that cookie because I can get into trouble for that. So I won't tell you, but you kind of got the gist of what cookie it is. But like I was telling at the beginning of my show, the other day I was eating one and I saw this cross on this cookie, and I just got intrigued and I started researching it. And the name of the cross is the Cross of Lorrain. And it dates back to the Templars. It dates back to Eastern France. Joan of Arc carried it as when she would go into battle. I mean, it's a very, very, very popular flag. But so it's interesting. So from now on, when I eat that cookie, I'm just going to be looking at that damn cross. I'll be like, yeah, it's it's a Freemason, it's a Templar thing. And nobody can tell me anything different because it's what I think is how I feel about it, you know. Some people might think I'm a little bit crazy and say, you're full of it, you're this, you're that. I don't give a shit what you think of me. All I know is that I believe that the founders of the company that made this cookie, have ties back through the Knight Templars into Freemasonry. So, but I don't know, it's getting pretty close up there, I would have to say about 3 more minutes. But what's on everybody's mind? Anybody have any questions they want to ask as I continue? Because there's a little bit more I'd like to talk about. River, my friend River says, Sean, one of the 3 times he okay. Oh, come on. I'm sorry. I'm getting messages, and this is like really rude because they know I have a show on. River Rose says, Sean, one of the 3 times he got really creative and drew it all along the staircase wall from top to bottom, water rolling like kind of like waves, and the big cross. He knows he gets in trouble, but did it anyway. But if you ask him why he shrugged, pointed to water, that's it. Huh, interesting. Jenny goes, blah, ha, ha, you don't give a shit, ha, ha. Yes, I do give a shit. What are you talking about, son? I just came on Oreo cookies. Thank you, Virginia. Appreciate it. I'm not upset. I'm not upset at all. I'm in a happy mood. I am one in a happy mood. I'm not upset. God no. I just find the Cross of Lorrain very, very interesting. And if you want to know the name of the cookie, just look at Jenny Nicosio's writing there, and we'll go from there. Jenny, honest to God, I don't know if I'd get in trouble or taken off of YouTube if I would mention the company or the name of the cookie. But Jenny's got the right cookie on that one. But listen, we are coming up on the 8:30 mark. I am going to do my commercials, and I will see you in about 2 minutes. I'm making me hungry. All right, commercial time.
Looking for something new in dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, alternative history? They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology. Get the 10-volume box set with 159 stories and full color illustrations plus 34 articles with writings and art tips. Get the UPRN discount, $125 for the entire box set. That's a $60 savings for that beautiful box set. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Go to uprntalkradio.com, click on the link, and place your order.
Looking for stories that are fresh and new? Dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, cyberpunk, alternate history, and more. They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology from 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
Hey, welcome to the second part of Into the Night with Sean Kelly. I hope everyone got to go to the bathroom, get something to drink, smoke a cigarette, do something. Before I continue with the second part of the show, I want to remind you that I am on UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi, I think it is. I'm not sure. Reversal, but we're down there. But I was talking to my friend down in some little town on the coast of Florida. She's on the western coast of Florida. And I believe that the radio station, UPRN, is actually hitting Florida right now because Pittsburgh Paranormal Society is really huge down in this little town in Florida. And that's pretty cool as heck. Made it from Mississippi to New Orleans to Florida. So everybody out there, if you're living down there in Florida, check it out. But there's also, like I said, I'm on UPRN Talk Radio. My friend, who I co-host a show with on Friday nights, News on the Flip Side with Joe Montaldo. His name is Sean Hazlitt. He has a show coming on right after me. This is his first night, his first show on this station, and it is called Through a Glass Darkly. And it seems pretty interesting. He's a very nice guy, very good dude. And so, if when you get done with my show, hang around. I do believe his show starts at 9:10 Eastern Time. But stick around and listen to his show. He will be my guest on Tuesday night. So we can learn a little bit more about him. The other shout outs I want to give, of course, my dear friend Jenny Nicasio. She hosts the show Chasing Prophecy, which comes on before my show. And me and Jenny, how we started together. So it's like so cool. And she got her own, Chasing Prophecy, and she has good guests on, and she's very good at what she does. And then there's my friend Virginia, as you see, Virginia Lanigan. She has a YouTube channel called Virginia Seeing Through the Veil. There she is. There's Jenny. And Virginia, when you go on her YouTube, she has all kinds of really interesting things on her YouTube station. I do believe she does readings, and she has good topics, to chat. And then there's my friend Michael Anthony, and he's in America in Crisis. So check out his Facebook page if you want to. But back to this Cross of Lorrain, okay? So as I put here on my notes, I got to bring them over here under the light. It says, "Why on an Oreo cookie?" Okay, and I said it. So if I get fired, I get fired. Who knows? Or who knows what's going to happen? But thank you, Jenny, for letting me say Oreo cookie. Because it resides in a variant of the, excuse me, let me say Nabisco logo, and is either a symbol for early European equality or a cross of Lorraine carried by the Knights Templar into the Crusades. Okay. The geometric pattern with the 4 triangles. Okay, so if you look at the cookie, right, you see the cross. Now, if you look around that, you see the 4 triangle radiating outwards. So if you look at the old Templar's vest, okay, they have red. It goes out like this, in, out, or in. Okay. Somehow I want to say it looks like the back of a Black Widow spider. I'm not sure if that's the hourglass. To me, it looks like an hourglass. And it is a symbol that cross, again, connects Oreos with the history of the first Crusades. It closely resembles a cross pattee, Pattee. That's the ones that are like this, that look like the hourglass. Okay, is a symbol of the Knights Templar, adopted by the Knights adopted it by sewing black or red crosses on their white robes. So whenever you see the Templars and they got that shape on there, right? Then that is the cross of Pattee. Pretty interesting, don't you think? I think. I mean, this is like so cool, because once you start researching one thing, and then all of a sudden it just takes you down 7,000 rabbit holes. And then there's a lot of people out there that think it's a 4-leaf clover. I can't see by getting the 4-leaf clover out of that. It really doesn't. But it's a pretty cool symbol. The reason behind the Oreo design has many mystical meanings, including a circle of life, infinity, power, love, and most importantly, change. Let me repeat that. The reason behind the Oreo design has many mystical meanings, including a circle of life, infinity, power, love, and most importantly, change. Oreo is not just a tasty round cookie, it's also a friendly reminder that the power of changing your life is all in your hands. And I tell you what, that just like blew me away. It did when I read that. It's a reminder that the power of changing your life is all in your hands. Isn't that the damn truth? In order for our lives to be better, and my life to be better, we have to take the initiative. We have to take the footsteps in doing what we need to do to get ourselves better. Okay. I remember when I first joined AA back in 1991, he said, turn everything over to your higher power, turn everything over to your higher power. And that's what I would do. Turn everything over, every little thing. Every little challenge, every little hiccup I ever had, whatever, I just said, okay, here, take it. And then one day, I'll tell you what happened is I had something happen to me, nothing hurtful, but it was kind of personal. And I said, okay, God, take it, or your higher power, take it. And he didn't. And that little problem I had began to escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate. And so I was so like upset. I'm like, what the hell's happening? Isn't my higher power supposed to take care of my problems? Right? So I called my sponsor and I asked them, I said, what the hell's going on here? Why is everything just going down? I'm doing what I have to do. I'm turning it over. And my sponsor laughed at me and he said, I agree with you, Sean. Sure is the truth. Yes. But I asked him, I said, what the hell's going on? He kind of laughed at me and he says, don't you think your higher power is trying to tell you something? And I'm saying, like, what are you talking about? Then he said, for all the things that you have done that got you in a pickle, that stuff happened to you, you continually turned it over to your higher power. I said, yeah. He said, I think that your higher power is trying to tell you that you have to deal with that mistake. You have to work through that roadblock. You have to do the work. And it was like my eyes opened up this big. I was like, wow, is that the truth? So when I hear that line, remember that the power of changing your life is all in your hands. And it's true. Because I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't take that into my hands. All the stuff that I did to get to where I'm at right now, I busted my ass getting to it because I had to work on it. I had to work, and that was okay. You know, a couple more things I want to say about this. I found out who get the recipe for the Oreo cookie. Okay, his name was Sam Porcello, and he created the recipe. And he was an American. Cindy Simpson says, I agree with you, Sean. Sure is the truth. The inventor who was responsible for today look of the Oreo was, like I said, was a Freemason. According to the son of the inventor, he wasn't a Freemason, but his grandfather was. So if your grandfather was a Mason, I can guarantee it the dude's dad was a Mason. Right? And it's just amazing how they just kept that Templar thing going with the cross of Lorrain on an Oreo cookie. Now I am not to investigate all kinds of candies and find some more meanings behind them or whatever. But I really, honest to God, thought that it was interesting because it caught my attention. It really did. So the next time you see something about the Knights Templars or them riding into their crusades, and you see the cross of Pattee, P-A-T-T-E-E, like that, just remember where it came from. It came from the Freemasons. Okay, Cindy Simpson says, so many people cry and blame others for what they do wrong. We can't blame others. We have to have accountability for our actions. 100% totally agree with that, my friend Cindy Simpson. Totally agree. You can blame people for breaking a fingernail. That's just a funny thing to say. But yeah, if you look at it, all the stuff that has happened, you can't blame everybody. You just got to blame yourself because it's how you react and that's how you deal with that situation. Yes, that's how I did it. Cindy, that was very, very good. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. So in conclusion, what is your theory? What would you like to what is, do you have anything you want to talk about the cross of Lorraine, about Oreo cookies, whatever? Feel free to bring it up. I am going to be pulling cards tonight, so today I started my show at 8 o'clock. Okay. Because my friend Sean Hazlitt, he's got his show coming up next. Yeah, I guess everything is a lesson at the end of the day. It sure is, Kason. It really is. You know, um, for instance, when you say that, I mean, I've been in the paranormal field for over 30 years, okay, and I'm still learning stuff about it. I'm still learning stuff about ghosts and paranormal activity, and I believe that there will be a time where no one, whatever you're studying, there's always going to be more and more and more and more and more. So that's okay. The more stuff you get in, the more information, the more you can process it up in your brain and write it down. But at the end of the day, my friend, it is a lesson. We have lots of lessons. So I am going to be pulling the cards pretty soon. Tuesday night, this Tuesday coming up, I'm going to have my friend Sean Hazlitt on. I'm going to interview him, but his first show tonight is Through a Glass Darkly, and I'm really interested in it and checking him out. He very well mannered, very nice guy. Very He has some interesting stuff that you would like to tune in. Please tune into his show, and definitely tune in Tuesday night for the interview with Sean. I would appreciate if everybody would show up. That would be so great. So I'm going to get the cards out right now. Okay. Everyone knows what I do with the cards. I draw 3 cards. Okay. I'm going to draw 3 cards. The first card I'm going to draw is your past. And the second card I draw will be what animals with you in the now. And then I'll draw a third card, and that will be the one that the animal will be helping you through the future. Okay, so I shuffle them, and I cut them again. All right, so here we go, guys. Don't forget, write this stuff down. Okay, the first one, your past, is a lizard. We haven't drew that one in long. The lizard. That's cool. That's your past card. Your now card, which the animal's helping you out with today, is the moose. The moose. That's your now card. That's the animal that is helping you out right now. And the future card will be the blue heron. Okay, so your first card, which I drew, was the past, was the lizard. The second one was the moose. That's the now card. And the future card is the blue heron. So everybody, please write those down. And like I tell you, at the end of the show, Google those animals and see what they come up with. So I want to again thanks everybody for tuning in and coming into the chat room and watching the show. I hope there was a little bit of history about the cross of Lorrain for you. So like I told you, next week I am going to try to see if I can get Michelle to come on the show and do a little thing about a little history of the Knights Templars. I mean, you can catch her out on the Outer Realm. she has a show Wednesday night, The Outer Realm. You can check her show out. And then Joe Montaldo's the show. So take care. Hey, take care, Cindy. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and thank you for all your words of encouragement. Really do. Thank you very much. And so it's like, tune in. Joe Montaldo. I co-host his show on Friday nights at 10 o'clock p.m. on UPRN Talk Radio. And what else? That's about it. I'm really excited for my friend Sean Hazlitt, for him starting his new show. And don't forget, check out Jenny Nicasi on Chasing Prophecies on Tuesday night. I don't know. Are you still doing Sundays, Jenny? If you're still in, I'm not sure. Cool. I love to listen to Knight Templar history. Never gets old. It doesn't. And whenever you see Michelle, I pray she'll be on my show next week. That'd be so cool. Because, like I tell everybody, like I said, she's very knowledgeable of the Knights Templars. It's really cool. There's a lot of cool things that they do. So, on that note, everybody, I want to wish everybody good night. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget that I am on UPRN Talk Radio 105. Good night, Casey, and good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. I am on UPRN Talk Radio 105.3, New Orleans, 107.7, Mississippi. I hope I got that right. So stay tuned for Sean Hazlitt, Through a Glass Darkly, and, enjoy his show. And parents, please, if you can, go find your children or go to your children and give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And children, please, go to your parents and give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And if you don't have no parents, and if you don't have no children, find somebody to give a hug to and tell them that you love them. If you feel comfortable telling a stranger or your friend that. But do it. Just do it. Because those words, I love you, go forever, mean a lot. And I want to tell everybody, all my people out here, I do pray for you. I do pray for you. That everybody will have a safe evening and a good life. I really do pray for you. And on that note, I want to say good night. See you Tuesday. And happy hunting. Good night.